Finally, a rare bit of good news for Mick Hennessy. Tyson Fury has agreed to pay him £1.5 million in an out-of-court settlement. When Fury left Hennessy, Hennessy filed a lawsuit for breach of contract, and rather than get dragged through court, Tyson Fury has decided to pay him this lump sum instead. Now, I had heard rumors that Mick Hennessy was in financial trouble after the Hughie Fury-Joseph Parker fight, because he came out of pocket for that fight. He spent a lot of money putting it on, didn't even have a broadcaster, remember? And again, it's just a rumor. He was having a lot of financial difficulties after that. And there's also a rumor that Tyson Fury helped him out during that time, and that is what caused the rift, because Tyson Fury wasn't happy with the way the money was paid back or wasn't paid back, so on and so forth. Again, that's just a rumor. I cannot confirm it to be true, but I want to put it out there because it's something I've been told behind the scenes. But what we do know is that, as I say, Tyson Fury is now settled out of court with Mick Hennessy, paying him $1.5 million. And that's obviously going to be a boost for Mick, because he's a relatively small-time promoter. He doesn't have a regular TV gig. He has been doing shows on Channel 5 over the past few years, but they're very, very few and far between. And Mick Hennessy, you do kind of feel for him to a certain degree. Look, I don't really care about promoters as long as there's good boxing on. I don't care who's actually putting on the shows. But with Mick Hennessy, every single one of the major fighters that he's had has left him. And they've usually left him before they started to make the big money. So, for example, you had James DeGale leave Mick Hennessy. You had Carl Froch leave Mick Hennessy. You had Eubank Jr. leave Mick Hennessy. And of course, Tyson Fury, probably the biggest one of all, well, certainly the biggest one of them all, left Mick Hennessy. And that's after Tyson Fury and Hennessy were supposedly tight. That's after Tyson Fury and Mick Hennessy were gushing about each other in interviews over the years, talking about how they're loyal and how Fury's going to be with Mick Hennessy till the end. Well, loyalty in boxing, it's not really, what's the word I can choose? It's not really practical. Let's just put it that way, especially for the boxer, and especially when you're dealing with promoters. I was listening to a Boxing Beats and Rhymes video earlier today, and he said that being loyal to trainers is, more preferable than being loyal to promoters and managers, etc. I haven't really thought about that, especially, deeply enough to really form an opinion on whether one is not as bad as the other. But me personally, in general, I'm just not in favor of fighters being loyal to anybody, be it a manager, a promoter, or a trainer. Because if you get stuck with a certain trainer and he's not the guy to make the most of your physical gifts, and he's not the guy who can teach you the most, and he's not the guy who can take you the furthest, just because you've been with him from the start, are you gonna continue to stick with him and potentially not become the fighter you could be out of loyalty? You see, that's where, for me, it all falls down. I can't advocate fighters being loyal even to trainers, just because the trainer was with them from the start and they've got a personal relationship. They've been with each other through thick and thin. If you want to retain the trainer in some capacity, maybe as an advisor, maybe as an assistant trainer, etc., it's all good. But to just stay with them and not bring another trainer in, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, Tyson Fury is a good example. When he split from Ben Davison, he actually wanted to bring in Javon Sugar Hill as the head trainer and have Ben Davison maybe as an assistant coach. Ben Davison didn't like the idea of that, so he split. But evidently, Tyson Fury made the right decision. I questioned his decision. Many other people questioned his decision from a stylistic point of view. But evidently, Tyson Fury deciding to go down that road was the best thing for him, because he learned the Kronk style. He picked up a lot of things from Javon Sugar Hill very quickly, and he implemented them in fantastic fashion in the Deontay Wilder rematch. So that's an example right there of a fighter who realized, you know what? My skill set is incomplete. There are other things I can learn. And this trainer right here, Ben Davison, who has been loyal to me and he's helped me get back on my feet. He's helped me lose all this weight. He's helped me overcome depression and substance abuse problems, etc. As good as he's been to me, he still can't give me what I need in the ring. There are certain things he can't teach me. Therefore, I'm going to have to go elsewhere and find a trainer who can teach me those things. It's not personal. Do you understand? But a fighter only has a small window of opportunity within which to earn life-changing sums of money and within which to produce his best form. Tyson Fury understood that, hence why he switched up trainers and got Javon Sugar Hill, a master stroke. So anyway, before I get carried away talking about Tyson Fury and trainers and all this kind of business, back to the matter at hand. Fury pays Mick Hennessy $1.5 million. Now, Mick Hennessy has threatened legal action against several fighters who have left him before, but he never seems to follow through with the legal action. Perhaps that's because he doesn't have the money to. He thinks he doesn't have a strong enough case. At the end of the day, if you've got enough money and you decide to take legal action against somebody, even if you don't have a particularly strong case, you might come off better in that situation, especially if they don't have the kind of money that you've got, because you're going to have better lawyers. You could just drag the situation out in court for so long that they end up going broke and they have to drop the whole thing, even if they are actually in the right. And many people in positions of power use lawsuits in that way to just tie their opponent up or try and bankrupt their opponent, even if they themselves know they're in the wrong. This goes on. With Mick Hennessy, very seldom has he had the opportunity to do anything like that because he's never been a particularly big-time promoter in the UK. But I do respect the fact that Mick has doggedly hung in there, because how many of our UK promoters have just bowed out of the game, particularly since Eddie Hearn hooked up with Sky? A lot of them just bow out because he's got a virtual monopoly on Sky. You got Frank Warren over on BT. The smaller promoters, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? I mean, you do have MTK putting on shows and they're kind of on Sky as well, actually. But people like Dave Caldwell have bowed out. Frank Maloney bowed out of the boxing promotion game. And you do still have Cyclone Promotions, but how long are they going to be around? Mick Hennessy has been around for a very long time and he's still going. I mean, even Barry Hearn bowed out of boxing. A lot of people forget that. He turned his back on the sport and he started, he continued to concentrate on darts and snooker and all that kind of stuff, which he was doing all along. But yeah, he turned his back on boxing. So got a feel for Mick Hennessy to some degree, just for his dogged determination, given the fact that he's never been particularly successful, relatively speaking. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Obviously, $1.5 million at this point to Tyson Fury is chicken change. But maybe with the possibility of this UCAD situation going to court, I mean, you never know. He thought, you know what, let me just pay Mick the 1.5 mil, get it over and done with. I don't need any additional court issues. So, it'll be a drop in the ocean for Tyson Fury after all the money he's earned at this point. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening. I'm out.